In the year 2023, it also amazes me how many people are like, well, I don't see color, or it would be so much better if we just didn't worry about someone's skin tone. You as an individual are contributing to the problem because our broader society sees color, and it's not just physically seeing a color. There is so much more to it than just that. And if you don't understand that, you are again part of the problem. And it's just to keep telling people that over and over is so frustrating. And I was just on TikTok, and there's a trend where parents are teaching their kids not to see color, quote unquote. And I'm like, okay, so the next round of people that are going to be joining our workforce, this next generation, are going to be dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with now. Because to say you don't see color, you don't see me. You don't care to acknowledge the struggles that people like me face. And we're not looking for problems. We're not, like.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today. And we're going to be talking about the recent story with Google's DEI leader, Andrielle Parker. She's very upset that parents like me are teaching our kids not to view people on the color of their skin, but the content of their character, something that Martin Luther King pushed in the whole civil rights movement. And it's so funny to me how people like her would consider her an advocate of civil rights. Like they think they stand with civil rights. They support the civil rights movement. But the very ethos of the civil rights movement was not to discriminate against me for the color of my skin, not to exclude me because of the color of my skin. And this person, she sees this, the concept, the ideal of, hey, you don't judge someone solely on one aspect of their identity. She sees that as, oh no, you're just denying me as who I am as an entire person. How? To me, I'm more than my skin color. Your skin color is only a superficial aspect of your identity. I can't tell nothing about a person because of the color of their skin. You can't tell where I'm from just because of the color of my skin. You know I'm an American. That's all you know. You don't know ethnically where I descend from, right? This is the funniest part about a lot of these race hustlers, right? When I comment about race in America, because I'm an American, it doesn't matter. I'm born here in America. I'm born black in America. So I'm supposed to face the same struggles and tribulations that many of the black community and people who speak on behalf of the black community says that you're supposed to experience as a black man. And I have not experienced that. Now, some people will say, oh, because you're descended from immigrants, but I can say the same thing about them. It's just they've been here for generations on generations. And my argument is that they just get passed down bad information, bad skills that are not applicable to economic success. And that's why the black community is at the bottom, but they'll want to blame systematic racism because that excused them of responsibility. And I kind of want to hint at this idea I've been thinking about is that are race hustlers attributing more harm than good to our society today? Because I think DEI and all this stuff, I think it just generates more division, right? If I go back to the post that this was contributed to, Scott Adams, you guys know who he was. This guy who got canceled for literally bringing up a study that showed that black people consider he brought up attention to a prompt that's asked who is more likely to be racist, black, Asians, Hispanics, and whites. All said black people were more likely to be racist. And I believe the reason why black people are allowed to be more racist, more anti-Semitic is because as a society, we have condoned this behavior for a long, long time. And if you don't believe me, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Here's my proof for you. And here's an example. Mr. Umar Johnson. And someone let me know in the comment section. Is that his real name? I don't think that's his real name, bro. Something telling me that's not his real name, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section if you're familiar with Mr. Umar and if that's really his real name. So I want to go into this clip where Umar essentially talks like a racial supremacist. And last time I checked, racial supremacy was bad. Let's take a look.
You don't think Eminem is one of the best rappers of all time?
According to who?
You, rap fans.
Let me say something to you. And this is going to my African fundamentalism. No non-African can ever be the best of anything African. It is an insult to the ancestors, it is an insult to the race, and it is an insult to every black person. Do you think I could go to Palestine and be the best anything of Palestinian culture? You never see that. You think I could go to Israel and be the best of anything in Israel, whether it be a cook, an instrumentalist, a dancer? Hell no. And we have to stop naming non-African people, Joe.
But I disagree.
Stay with me though. Let me finish this. We got to stop naming non-African people as being the best of any aspect of our cultural product.
Joe, I think you
because
can.
it is an insult.
You
we gotta
can.
stop
It is an
inviting.
We
insult.
can acknowledge that the talent is the
Yes, I can acknowledge Eminem's title.
We should. He's.
But let me tell you.
Go ahead.
For you to
what I
put him
think.
at the top,
But I-
Let me ask you
but I-
this.
but I
that's
wanna
white
answer-
supremacy. bro.
So you've seen that and you heard that, right? And what's his name? Umar Johnson prescribes himself as a Pan-Africanist. Now, here's where I disagree with Mr. Umar here. I believe that there's no way an American can be a pro-African, whatever he calls himself, if he doesn't have a citizenship in any country in Africa. It makes no sense. Essentially, you're a traitor to America because you're an American, regardless of if he wants to admit it or not, right? And this is where I'm getting that they're trying to tie race and ethnic nationalism, which is what white supremacy is. So he's essentially pushing for racial supremacy, but I digress. But I will take a Pan-American point of view on this, is that if you're an American, bro, you my peoples. And last time I checked, rap was created in America. So any Americans, in my view, any American is entitled to be the best ever at the sport or whatever he's talking about, right? Because hip hop was created here in America, not in Africa, right? Africa got their own style of music. I forgot the name. Someone probably will tell me in the comment section, right? And let's take his argument at face value. No one who is not part of the culture can be the best at that culture. Okay. Let me look down the list. Who created American football? I for sure know it wasn't a black man. Who created basketball? I know for sure it's not a black man. But who's considered the best of all time on those sports? Not football is debatable, but basketball is a few names, and a lot of them ain't white. So by Umar Johnson's own logic, it's cultural appropriation. Actually, it's oppressive to have a black man being on top of a white man's sport, which is basketball, because basketball was what? Created by what? A white American. Right? But we'll be called a racist if you said, oh, a black man can't be the best at a white person's sport. That's racism. Right? These same people are so hypocritical. In one hand, when Eminem has an argument to be considered the greatest rapper of all time, they want to use his skin color, which sounds very racist to me, to exclude his accolades, his success, and downplay it for a lesser qualified person for the title, merely because that lesser qualified person has a skin color that matches what Umar believes to be culturally correct. But if we flip the argument and we use basketball, which is popular amongst all African Americans, actually all Americans, right? If you had said, no, LeBron James can't be considered better than Larry Bird, which is a white player, because he's black. Larry Bird is white. So therefore, and this is a white sport, we can't have no black American represent white America's sport. It has to be Larry Bird. LeBron James is an oppressor. Oh my God, you letting 74% of an industry created by the white man be taken over by black Americans. How racist will people will say? People will run around and say that's white supremacy. But if you flip it around, oh, Eminem, best rap. Oh no, you can't say that. It's oppression. You supported white supremacy, right? And this is what I always do. It's called inversion, right? It's a mental model, right? All you have to do is reverse something, and if the opposite is wrong, then there's a good chance the actual is also wrong. If it's bad one way but good the other, there's a discrepancy there, and there's something wrong with your logic, or you have a bias or a prejudice at play, and that's what's going on here. I don't think race hustlers or people who push the DEI is actually helping the problem, right? And then I want to end off this video because for the longest time, my stance as a parent has always been that CRT is garbage. Keep that ish away from me, my family, and my children. You know why? Because there's studies that show that when kids are exposed to CRT, which is critical race theory themed concepts and ideals, they report having lower self-esteem, especially black kids. And in my argument, if you are a pro-black, whatever you want to call yourself, is it in your best interest to teach your children something that lowers their self-esteem, lower their sense of accomplishment, their level of self-determinism, teach them helplessness because of their skin color? Do you think that's a net good or a net negative for your community? And black community and black culture has been doing this to our kids for generations, and you wonder why a lot of black progress has been stifled, or why there's this expectation that when you make it, it's some great exception, that you don't represent the norm for black America. Because essentially, black culture has conditioned a lot of black people to view their skin color as a reason for why they can't make it out of poverty. Unless they get lucky, or unless they're so exceptional that they succeed in spite of that. I want to talk about a few points. So here's the basic elements of critical race theory. Racial essentialism. Isn't that what Umar Johnson was pushing in his rant over there? Blood guilt. Individuals are responsible for past and present acts of other people simply because they share the same skin color. End of the day, if someone didn't do wrong to you, they didn't do wrong to you. So why should you punish them for the sins of their ancestors? And why you as black people should benefit off the suffering of your ancestors. This is the problem with reparations. This is why reparations is not popular outside of the Democratic Party. And it's barely popular in the Democratic Party. I think only 51% of Democrats agree with reparations. Because why would someone wants to pay for something that they did not do? We talk about how, imagine if I judge a whole group of people like Black America, for instance. Hey, Black Americans have a high propensity for crime, 13% of the population, but they represent 38% of crimes in America. So if someone said, hey, all you black people have to suffer the consequences of a minority of black people actually do, because black criminals are a minority in the black community. Most black Americans are not criminals. Imagine if other groups of people held you accountable simply because of the actions of people that are part of your race. No one would stand for it. And this is the kind of collective judgment that I kind of want us to get away from. And I think what race hustlers do, they push a brand of tribal politics that will essentially result in a race war. Because in this multi-ethnic republic that we live in called America, you can't be doing these games that Umar Johnson is trying to push. Because all it's going to sow is more division. Because there's more than just white people in this country now. It's not just 2 teams. There's 4 teams now. You got the Asians, Hispanics, whites, and blacks. And we're all Americans. That's my pan-American view. Because I see us as one team. Right? Different communities, but one team. We make up one team. And to have these people like Umar Johnson and this DI lady come here and try to say, oh, we need to see people through color. Essentially, you're going to create a fracture in American culture. And we already see it. Multiculturalism. And it's going to cause a racial divide, an ideological divide along race, along things that we cannot change. And if we want a better America, I believe a better America comes with a shared culture. And that is everyone having a shared vision of what America can be. And you can't have a shared vision with people who think that other groups of people, even though y'all part of the same nation, the same tribe, that he can't participate or he can't be uplifted because he has a different skin color than you. You're going to bring racism back. And I think these people are like bad actors, and they're only causing more harm, more division in our culture and in our society. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts about what I have to say in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Mr. Umar Johnson, if that's even his real name? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I really like to hear it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.